Yes.
Hey,
Cesar.
welcome to the show. Cesar
How are you?
Millan is here. We were just talking. Jim's getting ready to get a dog.
Yeah?
For the first time in his adult life.
Yeah, I don't. My wife wants a dog.
You don't?
It's not that I don't, but I've never had a dog, and I don't like taking care of things. But she really wants one, so I think I will.
Sometimes
I'm
you have to
gonna do it.
acquiesce, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give her a baby, so we'll go with a dog. Yeah.
Well, they're easy. They're easy. If you have any questions.
Well, I don't have one yet, but all I'm worried about is it's going to go to the bathroom all over the place in my house, and on my Kiss posters and all that stuff.
Do the dogs pee on
I
Kiss posters?
lay them down when I'm
You know
doing
the band
something.
Kiss.
Wait, what was the question? The dog
He's worried because he's got a collection of Kiss posters.
Okay.
The band Kiss. He's worried the dog's gonna piss on Kiss, is what he says.
Yeah.
Piss on Kiss.
That's what he says.
Yeah.
I'm worried.
Well, you're keeping him away from it.
That sounds like good
Well,
advice.
your house is full of it? Like you can't walk in your house or what?
No, you can, but I mean, I lay them out to flatten them, and I'm worried I'll go to do something, and then he'll run over there and just take the opportunity to urinate on my possession.
Right, to piss on Kiss.
That can happen, so you keep them away from places that they're not ready to be there. Yeah, so that's boundaries.
Boundaries.
Rules, boundaries, limitations. Yeah.
I saw a video of you recently.
Yeah.
Where somebody it was like a really bad, like a wild little dog, and you thought you had it calmed down, and then it just started attacking you again. You probably don't know which one I mean, but there's a
No,
video
I
going
don't.
around. But do you typically re-get them, or there was some that you have to just go, I can't do this one?
No, I mean they do need repetitions, right? So there is sometimes that it require repetitions, but they will get there. The rehabilitation definitely we accomplish. It's 20 years on TV, so I'm doing something right.
Oh yeah, yeah. You're the guy. I mean, you're the only guy.
So far. Yes.
It is amazing too, because I feel like there's because you've been on television for so long, you're where people go if they're not hiring a professional trainer, if they're just getting a dog. It was like just yell at the dog and tell it to stop doing things until you were on TV, and it was like, oh, maybe there are better ways to do this.
Much natural and simple ways to do it.
Right.
Like for example, walking with a dog would take away a dog getting frustrated or bored, right? So a lot of times people don't walk a dog enough. So the dog is going to become, frustrated and bored because the life is not just to be behind walls getting food and getting affection. So a lot of times it's just a simple walk, get rid of a lot of problems.
And anxieties and stuff like that. My dog, she every time anybody's even near the door, she barks like crazy to the point where it's like we have but I mean it's unnecessary. And it's
Too many barks is unnecessary.
Yeah, and we have a baby, so constantly she the mailman comes and now the baby's awake because the dog threw a fit. Is there?
So this is what you have to learn. You have to learn that a dog can tell you, signal you. They can do it in a quiet way. So those are the dogs that learn when they find explosives. They don't alert barking. They learn quiet. So you can ask the dog to alert you in a quiet way. It's just most people don't even think about that. Right. Or if you want the dog to alert you with barking, you can tell the dog, hey, 2 barks, 3 barks. So that is a rule, and then the dog goes and barks 2 or 3 times.
But
so basically, he's allowed his dog to go wild. It's poor ownership, basically, which is why the dog
that's why I have a
just does
show.
Yeah.
America do allow a dog to go, wild. I mean, America.
We don't know how to talk to him. I go two barks is fine, and the dog just looks at me.
Yeah, humanizing a dog is not going to help him.
No, it's a
Right.
pet.
You
It's
know
an
what I
animal,
mean?
right.
So it's very common, because I'm from Mexico. So the first time that I saw people talking to a dog is when I came to America.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's an American thing
That's very American.
to humanize.
Yeah. What are you doing, Billy? Well, I'm just scratching my butt.
Just expecting them.
I'm just about to mount that dog over there.
So did you control dogs at home when you were a kid? Is that how you got good at this?
My grandfather, I come from a farm, and so I grew up with certain rules, boundaries, limitations, certain energy and lifestyle actions. So that's practically what we are, right? Energy, philosophy, actions. And so I saw older people doing exactly what I'm doing. What I'm doing different, is that I can teach people. My grandfather and my dad, it was just a family. but I can teach people. I can go anywhere in the world and teach people. The Germans are different than the English people, and the Chinese are different than the Arabs.
Oh, that's interesting.
So when you teach a different culture, you have to understand how they're going to learn. So that's one thing that my parents or my grandfather would never ever do.
Is it more difficult to train a dog or to teach people how to train a dog?
People.
People are tougher, right?
Yeah, because people want to do it their way.
Yeah.
And once you do it the dog way, nose, eyes, ears, exercise, discipline, affection, rule, limitation, the dog knows. So I can go to Russia, for example, and talk to a dog in Russian, not speak in Russian. It's the same nose, eyes, ears.
Right.
It's the same trust, respect, love, And so it's easier to convince a dog to do the right thing than to tell a human to do the right thing.
Have people commissioned you to kind of come out, the people will have bands fly in and do private shows for like these shakes. Has anyone brought you over and said, look, whatever you want, just please train this dog for me?
Yes, sir.
That's a great life, isn't it?
That's a great life, sir. Yes, sir. Once you get to those numbers, yes, sir.
Yeah. I mean, it also must feel good to walk into a room with people who are like at the top of their field, experts at whatever they're doing, highest paid at whatever they're doing, but they have no idea how to handle their dog.
No idea. Well, the president of the United States have no idea what to do with the dog.
That's right.
It's
So
biting everybody, right?
11 times.
It's insane.
11 times, Secret Service.
And
so
do you
having
look
the
at that
FBI, CIA, and all these incredible, smart people in there, they couldn't control the dog.
Do you have your people reach out to the
Yeah,
White
we
House?
did.
Yeah. And they said no.
they didn't want it.
That would be such a great PR move for Biden.
Of course it would.
To have Cesar Millan coming and like working with his dog and going, look, I'm just like you guys. Sometimes my dog doesn't listen.
That's right.
Yeah.
Money, fame, and power hires me.
Yeah.
Right? So to teach natural, simple, profound. So the dog doesn't know if you are red or if you're blue. The dog just don't know that you don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the dog makes you human.
And you recognize you're everywhere in the world because it was like 80 countries your shows.
120.
120. Yeah, see, I said 120 before, and he said it was 80.
I said I was wrong.
I was
wrong.
so
I was
stupid.
incorrect. Yeah.
120. Wow, that's pretty. So you can't go anywhere in the world kind of without being at least recognized.
Not even in the bathroom.
Nice.
Because the guys will go, Caesar? Just no touching, no talking, no eye contact. Turn around. Because they want to do this thing, The guys are like, hey, do the thing so I don't know how to do it. And we're peeing.
The
They don't wait until you're done.
They forget.
Yeah, the little touch.
Yeah, the little touch that I do. And so once they see me, they're like, they do a double take.
But you
or
have
the
to-
pilot comes out of the cabin, once they know that I'm in the plane, and they always have a problem with a golden retriever.
And they actually let you go up to where they have the barricade and they'll ask you questions?
No, they come out.
Oh, they come out.
They come out. We're already up in the air.
Oh,
They come
wow.
out and pee, and then they know that I'm there. So they always, ask questions because they're never home.
Right.
So they always have this question about, why they're golden. For some reason, it's always a golden retriever.
Do you enjoy that, or do you get to a point where it's like, I'm not talking about dogs today. I'm over it. I don't want to do it right now.
I do enjoy it. I do
You do.
enjoy it because, I get bored easy.
Yeah.
I get bored easy, so I like to talk to people. I'm Mexican, so we talk to everybody.
Yeah.
It's
We're
also gotta be-
happy-go-lucky culture.
And you came here with nothing. Like, you know what I mean? You came to America completely, what was you have a little amount of money in your pocket?
My dad gave me his life savings, which was $100, which I gave it to the coyote guy when I crossed the border. And after that, that was it. I was homeless.
How does a coyote guy work? Like when you like you talk to a guy and he says, I'm going to take you over. Like, how do you know he's going to do it? And what's the it's going to be terrifying.
You don't. That's terrifying. It's terrifying. So being on the border, you understand life and death every single second because they can come and take you and sell you for parts. So you can be sold
Your
for
organs.
parts. Your organs. Or the cartel can come and grab you because you're a young person. I was 21. And they recruit you even though you don't want it, and then they just disappear you. So it's a big risk. I know I broke the law, but I already paid for it.
Sure.
But it's a life and death situation.
So how do they, like when they bring you in, like when do you know you're safe?
When the coyote leaves, when the coyote leaves and you don't see the green anymore with the immigration guys.
Yeah.
But one thing I'm going to say about immigration is, every once in a while, every 2-3 days, I will get really hungry, and I will let the immigration catch me so they can feed me because they will give you a sandwich and a Coke. The Mexican police don't feed you. the Americans do.
Wow.
So I appreciate it, guys.
Oh wow.
Yeah, throw me a cookie. And that was it. That was my food for the next, because adrenaline and just a little bit of carbs and sugar, Coke.
Yeah. So how long was the process?
2 weeks.
Wow.
It took me 2 weeks, but once the right guy came in, it took us for like few hours, like 5 hours.
Wait, 2 weeks you waited for the right coyote to take over?
I didn't want to pay, so I want to keep the money.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Because I only had $100, so when I cross, I'm gonna have money so I can eat.
Right.
And so that was my thing. But then after 2 weeks, the coyote came and charged me $100, and that was it.
What does he do? Does he walk you through a path, or does he put you in a car?
They know the path. They know the path. They know, they know the little lights at the end. They know when the immigration guy is actually saying certain words so you can come out. They can flush you out, So they know all the tricks. I had no idea. I just want to save my money, and that was my first time crossing the border.
When you get in and your first night in, and like, okay, I made it, I'm here. What do you do?
You sleep. I remember sleep a lot. I went under a freeway. So I sleep under a freeway. And then the next day I start walking around so I can, work, sweeping or washing dishes. And that's when I met AM/PM and 7-Eleven. At that time, they had a sale for 2 hot dogs for 99 cents. So with $1 a day, I would totally survive in America. And then I met the big gulp.
Yes.
So I invested my one time in free, refill.
Yeah.
That thing was amazing. That was the best freaking investment ever done in my life. Because in Mexico, that's impossible.
Right.
Yeah, you buy it once and then you go sell it outside. So, here you just,
keep going back in with the cup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody, is doing it for more than that.
But were you staying like outside, or did you find a place to stay?
No, when I was in San Diego, I was just staying in, like a homeless.
Homeless shelters and stuff like that?
No, under
or
the freeway.
Just you stayed under the freeway.
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't know that thing existed. Shelters and all that. No, that's a luxury.
Wow.
I had no idea. I didn't speak English. I didn't know anything. So
What finally got you moving? Meaning where you're like, okay, I can see this working out. Like, what was the first sign that things were actually going to be all right?
Well, I never wanted to stay in San Diego, right? I always wanted to come to L.A. because Lassie and Rin Tin Tin lived there. I grew up watching Lassie and Rin Tin Tin, so I wanted to come and learn from the people that trained Lassie and Rin Tin Tin. That was my reason of coming to America. I wanted to learn from whoever trained those dogs.
Is that what you were going to do? Train dogs for like show business, for Hollywood, for stuff like that?
Yeah, I wanted to be a vet, right?
Uh-huh.
But then because I come from low income, they couldn't send me to a university in Mexico City or Guadalajara. So my best next thing was to become a dog trainer.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but then I saw the opportunity of rehabilitating dogs, and I said, I train humans, rehabilitate dogs.
Mm-hmm.
I am the dog whisperer, right? So, and that was it.
Has that become a show though? Like, do you train a producer's dog, and he goes, "This guy's amazing, and he's personable"? Like, what? Like, how does that become something that someone's like, "This has got to be on TV"?
No, the LA Times. So the LA Times followed me for 3 days, and at the end of the conversation, the lady asked me, "So, what would you like to do next? It seems like things are working out for you." And I said, I would like to have a radio show or a TV show so I can teach people. So she wrote it down in a newspaper. The newspaper came on a Sunday. Monday was a line of producers wanting to find out what was this show going to be about. And I was in South Central. So remember, my first show was done in the hood. From dogs from Beverly Hills. You know what I mean? Like the hood was the place for rehab.
Yeah.
By this Mexican guy that now is called the dog whisperer. But before, the dog whisperer was called the Mexican guy that walks a pack of dogs. I was walking 40 dogs off leash. I didn't know it was illegal to walk dogs off leash, by the way. I have no idea. I know I was illegal at that time, but I didn't know it was illegal to walk dogs off leash.
It's like a giant criminal enterprise going down.
Yeah. Like
everybody walking here.
Yeah. I have no idea that you need to put a leash on a dog.
Right.
On the land of the free, it doesn't make any sense.
But that's because none of us know how to walk dogs without leashes.
Apparently, it became a big business.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. How do you come to terms, like when you get successful in television and when you get wealthy and become one of these wealthy people?
Yes.
How do you come to terms with the fact that, like, in a relatively, years, but relatively short amount of time, I've literally come from absolutely nothing to having more than most people could ever hope to have?
Yes.
Like, mentally, how do you equalize that?
I never focus on money. I always focus on helping the family. You know, I come from that background of, whatever is yours, got to go back to the family. And I really love what I do.
Yeah.
I really love teaching people, and I just keep expanding, where to go and teach, because my adrenaline is in the teaching.
Yeah.
Like convincing in Singaporeans, for example, convincing Germans.
And just almost challenging, going to all these different places and being like, yeah, this is a global language.
Yeah, when you do a show, I do live shows. 12,000 people come, right? So when you do a show in England, nobody claps.
Interesting.
Everybody's very quiet until you finish the show. You know what I mean? So as a Latino, we're always like celebrating, saying stuff, telling something to the person who's giving us the show. But the English people don't. Right, so it's different.
Yeah,
that freaks you out.
So you think you're bombing, and it's like, no, this is just how we enjoy shows.
If I was a comedian, so I suck.
So I've been there.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You feel like you suck, and then for 2 hours, the show is a 2-hour show, and it's just me.
Right.
It's just me speaking, and then of course we bring dogs on stage, and we do the rehab on stage, and it's pretty awesome. But that thing shocks you,
Yeah.
So the cultural part. And there's the spiritual growth, and there's the instinctual growth, there's the emotional growth. That's what I love about life.
When you made it to TV, did you start hearing from a lot of relatives that you had never heard of, going like, yeah, we need a little help too. Can you send a little this way? Can you send a little that? Yeah. Yeah.
Of course. I mean, a lot of, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, give me a job. It's like, what do you do? I don't know.
Yeah.
Your dog collar. I know you're promoting that, but
Yes.
is it like the first GPS, or? Because I'm like, I don't know why that wouldn't be like common to have a GPS on a dog collar.
Because people are afraid. People are afraid, and people, they're always worried about their dogs. And the truth is, that most people do not let the dog out enough, or they don't, take a dog out. So the dog is always looking how to escape, right? So
Interesting.
yeah. So now when you have your heart invested in a relationship, and you need to know that person or that dog is safe, so then it goes back to safe peace. Right, so then that's what we wanted to give to all the dog lovers in the world, to feel safe, to feel peaceful. Because not because you love the dog, you feel safe, because you know that your dog doesn't listen to you, or you know that your dog has learned to escape. Right, so that's a good way for you to have a peace of mind.
Is this thing will track it?
Huh?
This will track. You could you put it on your phone too, like your iPhone. Like, how do you track the
you
dog?
control it with the iPhone.
Yeah.
But you know what? One thing that I just love about my life right now, I grew up watching the Jetsons. Remember the Jetsons?
Sure.
And how Astro used to be on a treadmill.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I came to America, that's the first thing I did. I put dogs on a treadmill. You know what I mean? So that's technology helping a dog to go for a walk. Because, a lot of, especially people in LA don't walk. New Yorkers are different, breed, right? But people in LA don't walk. They drive a lot, right? But everybody has a treadmill for some reason. But nobody's doing, but
Nobody's actually
using
walking
it. Yeah.
outside,
So I say, well, if you don't have time, put a dog on the treadmill. And I learned that from the Jetsons.
And do the dogs love being on treadmills?
In the beginning, no, because the floor is moving.
Right, it's weird.
Right, so it's a good mental challenge. So it's good for dogs who are nervous, fearful, anxious. Perfect for 4th of July. If you want to rehabilitate dogs for not being afraid on 4th of July, treadmill is the best. And 4th of July is a big deal for Americans, but for a lot of dogs, it's the most scary. It's like Halloween.
Yeah.
For dogs.
They hate it.
I mean, they hate it. So how do we help dogs to become super American? So you put a dog on a treadmill.
Yeah.
So that's technology helping instincts. So the halo collar is practically the same. It's a technology that is going to help a dog to remember the rules. Like what you're saying, I don't want my dog to do this certain thing. Well, halo collar will help you, because if you're not there, the collar will remind the dog the rules, boundaries, limitations.
How does the halo collar work?
What do you mean?
Like
In
how
what way?
how does it work to remind the dogs and everything?
Well, it has three different ways where it reminds the dog you're about to get in trouble.
Okay.
For example, it has the sound that.
We love the.
Yeah,
We love the.
That's the classic.
We
Yeah,
love that one.
So that's obviously you train the dog before to respond to these sounds. No, you don't just put a leash. You don't just put a backpack on a dog. You introduce it in a way where the dog associated with what you want, right? So the speaker will have this closeness to the dog. So it's like, here's the sound, especially because you're not there. Then it's the vibration. Then it vibrates once the dog starts getting too close to the area that you don't want, and then it's the sensation. That's when the dog receives the
little shock.
the little
Yeah.
the little sensation. You know?
Sensation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shock, you can call it whatever. The shock is not for the body; it's for the mind.
Sure.
It snap the brain out of it. You
Right.
see what
It's
I'm
almost
saying?
just like an alert.
That's it.
Yes.
So it's not
like a
it's not
pain
to
thing.
hurt
Yeah.
the body. It's to remind the mind to snap out of it.
Yeah.
Can you? So this thing, it's like if the dog runs away, can you still send it these signals?
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah. You still have a conversation with the dog, communication with it. Connection, communication, relation. So everything I teach, connection, communication, relationship, trust, respect, love, rules, by limitations, follow, play, explore, is all in the
Right.
color. Right.
Wow.
So that's the amazing part, right? That we were able to put everything that I teach, so people can consistently, because the one who's not consistent is the human. Right? So technology is going to be very consistent with the boundaries. If you say 20 feet, it's 20 feet. If it's 100 feet, it's 100 feet, right? So now you can go anywhere, at the beach, the mountains, whatever you want, and with your phone, you just
Create the
boundaries.
That's amazing.
So you
Yeah.
can just go to sleep, and the phone is having a communication with the dog, while the dog is having, a explore time while you're chilling.
Yeah.
You
And if
see?
it goes
great.
beyond that, it will start getting the vibration.
That's
like,
correct. And the dog just learn. Eventually, the dog just learn. When you go to the beach, you only want 100 feet away from you. Obviously, the repetitions is what allows. It's
It's
what
a good
allows
thing you're the
dog
one making the collar, because otherwise the collar would be putting you out of a job.
Yeah. Well, at one point, I do want people to be more in a preventative state.
Sure.
Right? So I came into a time where people needed intervention, rehabilitation,
Mm-hmm.
right? But that's not really what I would like for the next generation to experience. I think we should aim more for prevention than just following intervention and just seeing dog extremely aggressive, extremely fearful, extremely anxious.
Yeah.
That's not what we should aim for. We should aim for a dog that, as soon as you get a puppy, you should know what to do with it, right? So they're not supposed to develop problems, right? So you can then pay somebody so they can rehabilitate your
Right.
dog that you raise, but because you did it wrong, now you have to have money on the side so you can pay somebody else. So I think it's the wrong way of using your money.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up, I just want to ask one question too,
Yeah.
because I saw a video of a guy with a cane corso recently. It's a big dog, and he
Yeah.
just wasn't listening to him. And it was in a
Yeah.
supermarket. What do you do when you have to approach a dog that could literally kill you? Like, there's being bitten sucks, but there are dogs that could do serious damage.
Yeah.
Are there any that you won't deal with? Like, have someone brought you to a dog and you're like, that's just too far gone. I can't do it.
No. A lot of times, what I do is I remove the dog from the house and the family. Right? So once I bring that's the element of surprise. That's the shock part of it. So once I grab that dog and I bring him to my ranch, that dog has to deal with my land and my family or my pack. So it's like a jail,
Yeah.
right? You got to lower your balls, right? You got to boom. And so that little second that I have that a dog knows, I don't know what I am and I don't know these people, that's weakness. I use that weakness to create the respect. Because what that dog doesn't have is so it's trust, respect, love. So when you have a dog that is aggressive, you go after respect. When you have a dog that is fearful, you go after trust. You never go after love. It's not love what's missing in America. It's trust and respect.
Yeah.
Trust, respect, love. Right? We're about to choose our next leader. What do we want? Trust, respect, so we can love them. Right? What do we need? Somebody who's honorable, respectful, good heart, and smart. Right? Somebody where we feel safe, peace, love. Everything that I teach people, that's what we want.
Right.
From our pack leader.
Yeah.
Right? It's
Yeah.
exactly what we want.
It applies everywhere.
So let's put a halo color into the White House.
That's it. That's it. That's it.